everyone. My name is Gabriella Wong, assistant producer for Culture Central and a producer for CommAgency's video department.
And I'm Dillon Williams, videographer and editor for Culture Central, as well as a member of the CommAgency photography department.
We are here with a Penn State alumni, former CommAgency student executive director, and Belisarius Fellow. She's worked at HGTV as an associate producer, and she is now an associate development producer for Time Magazine. Please welcome Dejanae Gibson. Dejanae, how does it feel to be back on campus?
It feels amazing to be back on campus. I feel like I'm a student again, and all my old memories are coming back in front of me. So it is awesome to be back on campus. I feel really energized being here.
Amazing. So as current CommAgency students, we have to ask, how do you feel like your CommAgency involvement has helped you post-grad?
I feel like CommAgency really set the tone for the work that I do today. I feel like it laid the groundwork for a development process, understanding how to work with clients, how to be professional, as well as how to really be prepared as a producer to work amongst teams, as well as how to deliver quality work. CommAgency was a wonderful experience for me. It really solidified that I love videos and I love media production. I love working with clients and delivering great products to them. And that little opportunity to build informational promotional videos for clients on campus translates to creating television shows and selling them to big buyers like Netflix and Hulu.
Very impressive.
We have to ask, opinions on the Katie Grant.
I love Katie. She has great energy, and she was a huge part of my experience at CommAgency, as well as my experience here at Penn State. She was, I would say, one of my mentors, and also really set the tone for me and created a lot of opportunities for me to grow. So I'm really grateful for the relationship I have with her and being able to be back on campus for the Short Doc workshop because of her.
And touching on that mentorship type of role, how do you go about finding mentorship in your career?
That's a great question. Sometimes those opportunities become serendipitous, like somebody in your proximity at work really aligns with you as a leader, as a student, as a creative, and you just really foster a relationship with them. But I think for me, when I'm looking at a mentor, I'm looking at someone who is going to challenge me to grow, someone who is going to hold space for the rough moments, but also someone who's going to really allow for exchange of information. Mentorship is not necessarily about a power dynamic per se. Sometimes they are authority in that relationship, but it is also important that they're learning from you and you offer value into that relationship. One of my mentors at Penn State was Gary Abdullah, and I still reach out to him and talk to him every now and then and update him on my career and where I'm at, and just talk it out. Even if I'm having a tough time, I need a word of encouragement, and just a reminder of how great that I am. And so those are relationships I've carried on and continued throughout my career. And I don't see my relationship with him deteriorating anytime soon. And so I'm really thankful for the people that have shown up for me in my life. And mentorship is always about strengthening your bonds with people, as well as knowing that you can't get anywhere in your career and your life by yourself. I certainly have not.
Totally agree. I think it takes a village, as everybody says, and I think it's definitely.
Yeah. Also here, we love Gary Abdullah. He's our advisor for Culture Central and absolutely, hands down, one of the best people we've ever met.
Oh, I love it.
We love Gary. But sort of in those corporate environments that you're working in, how do you remain authentic to yourself and to who you are?
It's a really great question. I would say as a young professional, like at the beginning of my career, it was really clear that sometimes I was the only person that looked like myself in the environment. And that is true. That is going to be a real experience sometimes. But my authenticity comes with knowing who I am as a person. I know deep within me, I'm a leader. I like to be compassionate. I like to be understanding, and fostering an environment and energy that is about being real to who I am and not cowering down because of the politics, knowing and remembering to be a professional regardless, but always being able to lead with integrity. I think that is a huge pillar. One of my values is having integrity, being honest, being balanced, having harmony, being poised, having grace. That is true to who I am. And I'm a person of values. I really stick to what I believe in. And I don't like to bend my values because other people around me are willing to do that. And I think the integrity that I choose to lead with and choose to show up with is a huge part of who I am. And it's a reminder that when I am true to myself, opportunities will open, doors for new opportunities will open for me. And I won't, really ever be lost in my career if I stay true to myself.
How often are those boundaries or your values tested in a work environment?
Often, sometimes you have good days, some days you have bad days. And I think for someone who really believes in like getting to where I want to be in my career, like feeling really connected to where I want to go, and even being here is a reminder, like when I'm in the office, I get to come back and share my experiences with other people. And doing that requires me to be really authentic to who I am. And when those opportunities come up, where do I do the right thing, or do I go with what the culture is, the status quo is? I always think to myself, how do I strategically deal with this problem, and what is the benefit for the group if I stay true to myself? And I always come back to, like, it's not about me, it's about other people. And being selfless is a huge part of what I do. And as a storyteller, you have to be intelligent. You have to be emotionally intelligent. You have to be smart. You need to be compassionate. And that authenticity is going to come out when those challenges arise, so yeah.
And one of our final questions that we have, to the young students that are entering the workforce, what's one piece of advice that you have for them? Because it's very tough to navigate.
One piece of advice I would give is that in college, it's really easy to feel like growth is going to be had every day. And I think a huge part of my experience is realizing that growth is not always had every day. Sometimes just getting through the day is enough. Sometimes just being added to a meeting you haven't been able to be in before is enough. Sometimes getting an opportunity to be on a project you haven't had a chance to be on before is enough. And so when you're in college, you have 4 years. 4 years to get your degree, or less, depending on who you are. And you have a dedicated timeline to get that degree. And when you're in the workforce, that timeline can look different. Some people can get promoted before you. You may fight for a promotion sometimes. You may not always be getting the opportunities that you want, but know that your growth is going to take time. Be patient with yourself, but also advocate for yourself. Know what you want to get out of your experiences, and know when you've had enough, and know when it's time to find new opportunities. So your career is a career. It's going to take 10, 20 years to get where you want to be. I have to remind myself that too, is I see the version of myself where I want to go, but I have to give myself grace and time, and take and cherish every opportunity that I'm given each day, sometimes more than others. So
Absolutely. I sort of following that up, what are your next steps? What are your career goals? If you don't mind, if you're able to tell us.
It's a
what does
great
that look like for
question. I'm still
you?
figuring it all out. But
Absolutely.
I think a big part of what I want to do is be an entrepreneur. I really want to start my own business one day, but in the next 5 to 7 years, my hope is to really gain a lot of experience in business and strategic thinking and learning about finance, so I can eventually go to business school and prepare myself for that entrepreneurial journey. And I have many ideas on what that business could be, but I really want to take all of my experiences and my passions and find a way to build something for other people. I feel like as a storyteller, that's at the core of what I do, is like, how do I reflect the world around me? And in my business, I want to be able to provide space for people to enjoy life too.
Well, that is all the time that we have. Dejanae, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure talking to you. For our viewers at home, if you want to keep up with Dejanae, you can follow her LinkedIn. Stay tapped into her projects. To our audience, stay tuned as we have more content coming out. More content coming out to end the year. I stumbled because it's just so much content that we have coming out. So until next time, keep doing things for the culture, and we'll see you later.